I mean, if you could distill the essence of Swissness down to just 2 or 3 words, I don't know if you've ever been asked to do that before. I mean, what are
on a daily basis?
On a day, right? So what are the ones you mentioned? Innovation, for example, a moment ago. What are the other things that you think? I mean, there are things that you want to promote about Switzerland, but what do you think are the key words that people think about Switzerland outside the country?
So there are different things. Is who are we and how are we perceived? So on the who are we, I think if we're talking about USP, there is something interesting about Switzerland. It works. It's something.
Right.
It sounds
Right.
pretty obvious, but it's not that obvious.
No, it isn't.
You know,
especially if you've been to some places where things don't work so well.
We are very solutions oriented. We're not a dogmatical country, and I think it's everything I say is not against the other countries, because you also need countries with strong vision, with philosophical approach, that kind of thing. We are a country originally of farmers.
Yeah.
So we need things to work. We don't have resources. We cannot waste them.
Right.
So natural resources. So we've been investing in making things work.
Right.
Because I wouldn't say we have one shot, but nonetheless, we are really focusing. It's designed to solution. And we do what it takes in the sense that also we don't think we have the answer from the beginning.
Right.
We have a challenge or a problem, and we have to find the solutions. And we are very well aware, maybe because we're coming from the mountains. Sometimes in the mountains, the path you planned is suddenly blocked.
Right.
So you have to find another one.
Right.
And not saying, okay, this is where I plan to go, I have to go through. Sometimes you just have to acknowledge that even if you plan it well, it doesn't work. So you have to adapt yourself. So we're very adaptating.
Right.
And we don't really understand each other because we have so many national languages that we
don't understand each other?
Yeah,
you think?
Absolutely. So we stick to the core of the discussion. The fact that we have, it's kind of provocation, but we know that you have German-speaking or Swiss German-speaking people working with French-speaking, with Italian-speaking, with Roman-speaking.
Right.
And we're in the middle of Europe.
Right.
So we have people coming from all over Europe.
I see what you mean.
So in that sense, we stick, again, always coming back to solution. We know that, first of all, we're not always agreeing because we're a different cultural aspect.
Right.
It's not because we disagree and we should stop talking.
Right.
I think generally it's good to still talk also with people you disagree with. It makes you more clever. And in the current world, I think it's useless not to forget that disagreeing doesn't mean we shouldn't talk together. It means we should sometimes compromise. And that very Swiss aspect is, okay, I don't have the solution on my own. I work with others. Sometimes people are making fun of Swiss people being slow. We're not slow. We're listening to each other, and we're trying to take the needed time to define. We know it takes less time to think properly and then to make than to start making without thinking about it. And then saying it was not ready, not a good approach. So I think we have kind of a mix. So from the USP, it's not having a dogma allows us to have different people, different perspective at the table. Right. It'd be in the field of innovation, designers, searchers, business people. Right. Everybody coming with its own perspective. Yeah. And then teaming up in order to find a solution. And that's, and I think this is pretty rare to have that. Yes. And also we are condemned due to the situation of the country. Going back of today is not only of the history. We have very high cost. Yes. Right. Actually, we're not expensive. It's just value per proposition. Okay. In that sense, of course, I'm paid to say that it's not expensive. But the fact is, if you want something cheap, don't come to Switzerland. Right. Because there are many other countries that have different structures that allow them to have cheaper product. So we have to be the best ones. Right. Because there is no alternative for Switzerland but to be the best quality, the most trustful one, and so on. Right. Due to the cost we have. So it makes things, it has to work, because if it doesn't work and you paid for it, it doesn't work. If you have something very cheap, you cannot complain about having issues. With Switzerland, it has to be good and excellent, because if not, clients would go to another country. So this is something, this is, it's a challenge of the country, and we have to keep that level.
So if I hear what you're saying just in the last couple of minutes, we're talking about a certain deliberateness in the approach that Switzerland takes to working and to solving problems, right? It's not just shooting from the hip. it's studying a situation, but at the same time, there's this collaboration or a very open feeling towards collaborating, sometimes with people who don't speak the same language. They might be from 4 villages over or something like that, but they already speak a different language there, and that's something that has basically shaped Switzerland for centuries, right?
And you have also talents. I think if you're talented, I wouldn't compare it to the American dream, but there is something. If you're a hard worker and you have skills, I think you have many foreigners that came to Switzerland.
They're
make massive areas.
Exactly.
And I think there is something very open also.
Right. The appreciation for
skills,
ability, right? Yeah.
It's not an ego. I mean, you look at Swiss companies, you have to the top management, people from different origins, for different
that's right.
background, different countries. As long as it works. With a country, it has to work. If we do not deliver, then suddenly the discussion is changing a bit.
Okay. All right.
So it's kind of it's a pressure, but it's a good pressure. It's a positive one. To deliver.
So you've got also high cost, but basically we're going to rebrand that as value. You've got talent. You've got all these kind of key words. So how do you ensure that the world understands Switzerland this way? I mean, you and I can have this discussion here, and I've lived here a long time, and I know that you speak the truth, right? And I get it. But someone who is outside the country, who knows just that the flag of Switzerland is this big white plus, and otherwise it's all about, watches and banks and cheese and chocolate and the kind of stereotypical stuff. How do you get that message across about what Switzerland stands for? Especially if the idea is that ultimately these people, it's not just about changing their perception, but it's actually maybe moving them a step closer towards a decision to invest here or to come here to set up a business. It's not just that you want to, change hearts and minds. I mean, that's important. That's a good thing to do.
It's the first step.
But it's the first step in something that would be more pragmatic down the line.
First of all, what you mentioned, the cliches, they're positive. It's right. We can build on that.
Right.
And if you look at it, if you take just watches, people, obviously there are some smartphones that gives a more accurate time.
Right.
And it even changes when you're traveling. Every time you start your smartphone or you connect it, you are adapted to the summertime or to the winter time.
I know.
Or you land in Japan and you know exactly the time in Japan.
So lazy.
So on some aspects, it's I wouldn't say it's better, but it's more practical than a Swiss watch. And I was this week at the big watch fair in Geneva, Watches and Readers. Right. Very impressive to see how many people are traveling from all over the world to look at Swiss watches.
Yeah.
So it's different. So it's not only the decision for watches is not made only on the fact that it's the more accurate time ever.
Sure.
It's mechanical, it's quality, it's statutory too.
Yeah.
It's a mix of different things.
It says something about you.
It says something about taking the time when you travel and you have to do it yourself. It also allows you to have a better understanding of the fact that you've been traveling. So from mindset perspective, I don't want to be too romantic or too altmodisch, as we say in German, old-fashioned, but nonetheless, there is something fascinating about the time going. We're very aware of the time.
Right.
But if you take watches, people are willing to pay more money for a Swiss watch than for any other watches in the world.
Right.
There are other countries producing watches.
Right.
By the way, Swiss watch industry is fascinating because it was born due on foreign political decisions. I mean, the first one that's really set up the watch industry in Switzerland were Brits and French that left the country and came to Switzerland. So in that perspective, it says a lot about the history of the country.
They came here because of the...
Also, if you take the French, it's the same as for the bank.
Precision...
No. They came, the French, for instance, they came the Huguenots when Louis XIV made the Révocation de l'Édit de Nantes.
Right.
Interestingly, so 17th century.
Yeah.
A king in France said that people had to convert to Catholicism or to left the country.
Right, and they did leave.
And some of them left.
Yeah.
And they came to Geneva, they came to Neuchâtel and so on.
Yes.
And this is where you find the first watchmakers.
Oh,
there was already something, but
the
first private bank in Geneva has been founded, also they came from France. And if you take Rolex, one of those the biggest Swiss watch brand.
Okay.
It has been founded by a Brit. So in that sense, it says a lot. And you're even looking back centuries ago, there's something there. And so we have these watches.
Yeah.
They work because they're Swiss, because people are trusting the country.
Right.
So if you buy a Swiss watch, you trust the quality.
Yeah.
You trust the fact that you get good value for money.
Right.
And you trust the results of the timekeeping more than other countries.
Right.
The Olympics, they're working with a Swiss watch company.
Swiss timing.
And Swiss timing there.
Itself, right?
And if it wasn't Swiss, the results of some competition, talking about perception, not about the fact, but the perception is, as it's Swiss, people trust the results.
Right.
So these cliches, and I could do that also with cheese, chocolate, and so on.
Right.
All these cliches, they are positive one for Switzerland. So my job is not to erase them. My job is to say, okay, you like Switzerland for that, keep on liking Switzerland for that, but did you know that on top of it we have, and then we start showcasing what we have.
Yes.
And if you look at it, there are some great, first for you to universities, ETH in Zurich. We're in Lausanne today, also very good school, but ETH Zurich, slightly older, and is even high on the rankings, leading university in the world.
It's in the top 10, isn't it? Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
For IT is 8, I think, depending on the category.
Not bad for a small country like Switzerland, right?
APFL in Lausanne is the same. So when you look at it, it's about a 2 hours train ride between the two technical schools.
Right.
The Swiss MIT, sometimes.
Right. Right.
Where in the world do you have such... Also, it's like Boston. Look at Switzerland like a city.
Right.
Look at all the universities, the ecosystem. You have the best design school in Lausanne, which is one of the top 3 in Europe, at least, they call.
Right.
You have Lausanne and Zurich with both ETH. You have Geneva University, is also very highly ranked. You look at the Nobel Prizes per capita. Switzerland is almost the highest density of it. It's incredibly busy in Switzerland if you take the territory, knowing that a big part of it is with mountains where nobody lives. So the density of Switzerland from Geneva to Zurich and Lucerne and St. Gallen, there's really a very, very... the intensity of the ecosystems of innovation, culture and so on is really... It's a very busy place, but at the same time very quiet. And I think this is how we communicate.
Quiet?
Yes, quality of life is crazy. It's not when you walk. This morning I walked through Lausanne, charming village. They don't like when I say village.
No, I wouldn't imagine.
But on the world scale, if you talk to someone coming from Mexico or Japan or Tokyo, and you say I'm living in Lausanne, for them it's not even a neighborhood.
Right.
Which is not that important, because even if you live in Tokyo or Mexico, at the end of the day, there is only a certain amount of people you can meet a day. Yes. So even if you live in a 20 million inhabitant city, you're not meeting 20 million people a day. Right. So at the end, we're all humans, so the scale is not that important. But but it's quiet in the sense that when you walk through Lausanne or even Zurich is a world city. When you walk there, you're not feeling under pressure. Right. You can walk, you can see the lake and the mountains. That's right. Almost everywhere you're in Switzerland, you can see a mountain. You can see a river, that kind of stuff. So it's a mix. Coming back after a long run, but to your question about what do we want to position abroad, this is, so we want not strengthening the cliche, but keeping them alive, because it's part of our identity. Right. And then using them, the quality of life, the peacefulness of Switzerland, stability of Switzerland. And then to say, by the way, we are also innovative. Yes. So we have our communication activities must mirror the needs we have in the field of innovation. We need people to see us as we are. So we have to strengthen the perception of Switzerland in the field of innovation, because it will increase the opportunities for Swiss companies in the field of innovation, which is a pretty broad one. Right. The perception should allow them to export more. And the perception should allow them to find investors easily if you take startups. So all of that, the perception plays their important role.